Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks again for tuning in tonight. Welcome to Tales from the Casino Pit. This is a podcast where we talk about different stories within the casino industry. Now, here are your hosts, Jay, John, Mike, and Danielle.
Well, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hopefully you're doing well on a Sunday. My name is Jay. You can find me on social media at Casino Dealer Jay. And my co-host for this monthly special is...
I'm Mike. Glad to be here. Hope you guys are all staying cool and hydrated.
Yeah, holy smokes, man. You look really, really burnt. What's going on?
Yeah, I had a little bit of an outside day yesterday, so I didn't think I had that much, actually. And I did have sunscreen on, but it's sweltering out there. What can I say? So
yeah, sweltering for Canadians, right? So
yeah.
What are we at right now? I think we're only at like 30 degrees, actually. It's just a gross 30.
What's that? Dude, that's
80,
89, 90?
No, it's 86.
Oh,
So
is it 86?
Yeah, it's 86. But what's our high? It's like around 40, right? So that's like 104, I think, 105.
104?
So yeah. Anyways, guys, if you're watching this special, we do one every month, and we like to bring in somebody really cool. And for this edition, we're going to stay in Vegas. And first off, I just want to say hi and thanks everybody for all the support, all the people watching on Facebook. Hello, everybody on Facebook, on the Casino Industry Canada group. We love you there. And of course, the Casino Dealer J YouTube channel. So, hey, thanks guys for subscribing. Thanks for jumping on. Nice to see you. Okay, so on with that. I just wanted to make sure that we got that all covered. And the last two times we've actually had our specials, it has been someone from Vegas. So we did bring in Kelly O, our Vegas showgirl. And then we also brought Alex from CEG Dealers School. So what better way to complete our spring before summer? And then let's just bring in the other side of CEG. So we have he is the managing director of CEG Dealer School and the CEO of Casino Quest. Please welcome David Noll.
Hello. Hi guys.
Hey, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome. It's great that you could be here on this day. We're so happy you could join us.
Thank you guys. I actually watched your channel. I've watched the podcast quite a few times.
Nice.
I haven't played at a casino in Canada, but I love Canada. I've been to Toronto quite a few times. So there's that. But yeah, I ran across your podcast. I think maybe on your YouTube channel at some point. Came up in my feed, and so I got to see it.
Wow.
So yeah, glad to be here.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is cool. So, David,
Yes.
can you tell us a little bit how you got into this, when and how you got into the casino industry?
I got in the casino industry in 1991. I went to a school here in Vegas, downtown. It was on 6th and Ogden. And at the time, craps was the last game I took, which is pretty typical. Our school teaches you dice last. And out here at the time, mostly bird games, 25-cent tables. So when you started dice, you started downtown, like at the El Cortez, the Golden Gate. Those are the two places you broke in, and then you stayed there a couple months, and you moved on to a lot of other casinos. So yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome. You know what? Mike and I were actually pretty big fans of your channel. We totally appreciate you coming on. It's such a big deal here, for us. I love content creators. I love everything that you've been doing with CEG. So first off, congratulations on that grand opening. I think that was really amazing what you guys have done and what you've accomplished. How did that come about? The CEG Dealer School and Casino Quest.
So amazingly, 3 years ago, we had about 800, I would say about 800 usable square feet was the dealer school. It's pretty small. And me and Alex were looking at ways to, kind of expand the business without having to get a new space. And so we were having people come to the school asking us to play or learn how to play or work on blackjack strategies, this kind of thing. So we went out and bought a slot. We actually bought a slot machine. So our thought was we were going to teach people after hours how to play video poker, and it was based on a friend of mine who had a business doing that actually. Video poker has taken a backseat to Keno, just so we're clear. But it's my whole Keno thing. But so that's really kind of the impetus. The very first impetus was sort of a very casual thing. We're going to get this video poker machine. We're going to have a couple games because we figured if people came, they might come with their wives, or their families. They could play a little video poker while they we teach them how to play blackjack, this kind of thing. And not by the way, the video poker was just a cat in Nevada. You can have video poker machines at your house and just play them recreationally. It doesn't have to be a win.
All right.
So we bought that machine. It just sat there. We didn't do anything with it. We moved into this new space. We finally did expand the school. Our YouTube videos. It was amazing. We didn't think we really at first just provided them for our students. So our students, they come to the school, they go home, especially with dice. I find if you notice some of the earliest videos I have are teaching about the proposition box, that kind of thing. And so I tried to set up something so that they could go home and just, go through those videos and get all the keys down, that kind of thing. And amazingly, other people watched that. And so, it sort of grew. And we're like, well, we started getting more people to the school. And so we were able to afford a little bigger space, not too much bigger. We went from about 800 to about 1,400, 1,500 square feet.
Right.
And, amazingly, the Fashion Strip Mall here in Las Vegas, where I'm at right now on the Strip, they called us. The GM of this mall called us one day, and we thought it was a prank call. Like we were, we're like, dude, this guy's pranking us. We would get that every now and then. I don't know if some of the fans they call us and they want us to work out strategies, this kind of thing on the phone, And we thought it was a prank call, but they were inviting us to come and set up for March Madness. So the GM here had this idea of having our school host a March Madness event and have some tables, have our dealers just showcase. It was a free event for everybody to come and learn how to play table games. And it was an amazing success. It was a huge success. People came in droves. Even at 9 p.m. on a Monday night, we couldn't close tables. People were just literally, they were there in their strollers with their kids. And so the GM was like, you know what, this could be a thing. And I was like, this, because you guys have worked in the gaming industry. You've seen the training tables. They don't do well on a casino floor. People are still intimidated, right? I mean, 30 years, I've never seen one really take off. People don't go from the craft training table and then buy in for thousands of dollars. They're like, thank you very much, have a nice day, and they walk out. They just continue on. But you take out the casino and you take out, the trust issues and, people, guys in suits and dealers all just staring you down. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, we have a family right now that's here playing. They brought a young son with them, and there's no hurdle. They can come with the whole family and just learn how to play. But anyway, so after March Madness, we did that 2 years, and then we talked about getting a space. They finally gave us this little itty bitty space in January of 2020, and as you know, March put a nail in that what we thought was a coffin. So yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Good.
I love that mall. I actually love that mall. I think we said that before, Mike. Just going there. Me and my wife, we usually stay at Treasure Island, so we always end up walking there and just
right across the
money.
street.
Yeah. And that's kind of where and we have a relation to the mall. That's our casino here in Edmonton was located in West Edmonton Mall, and that was at one point it was the biggest mall in the world.
Yep.
And so that's kind of just, it's like a niche for us. It's something that we're okay with, something that we like going back to. So with the mall and everything, when we actually go out, everything's overpriced in the mall, and we'd rather just kind of stay in the local areas. How often do you actually go on the Strip for non-business work to just see the Strip at this point in your, in your life, in your career, like how long you stayed in Vegas, is it something that you normally do or not anymore?
It is. I'll be honest. Like, there's so much. The strip is a constantly evolving thing. Like, there's always new food. There's new attractions. It's amazing. Like on a month-to-month basis, there's like one restaurant closing, one cafe. Oh, look at resorts now. I mean, that's going to keep me entertained for a while.
Yeah.
I will say I've always been a fan of the staycations. So here in Vegas, that's like one of the opportunities as a local, right? You just I've checked into the MGM for a week and pretended I was a tourist, kind of thing. You can the properties are so big. You can just like Venetian. You can go to Venetian, and even after a week, you wouldn't have done everything.
Mm-hmm.
So even now, like we take our lunches. We'll look for some new eatery. It can be a little pricey. I'll be honest. Like, but I used to not so much before I had this spot. Obviously, not so much. But I have found that I've really come to enjoy a lot of the interesting food. This has really become like the foodie capital. You have all the famous chefs are here now. Lots of cool, interesting takes on food. I used to have a really bland diet. Not a lot of excitement. Denny's and Olive Garden, and maybe an Applebee's for some seasoning. But now I've gotten around a little bit. I've to expand my horizons when it comes to food. Yeah,
You're more refined now.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I had a little. I ate at this authentic Japanese place. They serve you a mallet. Now they give you it's an authentic place, right? And the mallet, you got to use the mallet because you got to kill it. You got to kill the stuff that shows up. It was that authentic. It turned out that the food was actually dead to begin with, but that was a bit. I was a little nervous on that one, but the experience was fantastic. Yeah, my taste buds need some refining for sure.
Mike, before you ask, where's the best place to eat then? Where would you recommend when Mike and I go to Vegas?
So on the strip, the best place
Anywhere.
Oh, anywhere?
Yeah.
Oh God, this is where I kill it. We went to Wing-Lee. We went to this. We went to at the Wynn. We went to this Chinese. Is it Chinese place? It's a Chinese place. It's kind of like Chinese fusion. It was fantastic. It was easily some of the best Chinese I've ever had. I used to love going to Jasmine at Bellagio. There's another place for Italian food. So Ferraro's, man, the cheesecake. Holy crap! But it's a little expensive. The food's good. And the other one I'll say, if you like Italian, there's two really good Italian places that are pretty affordable. One is Nora's on West Flamingo. You gotta reserve in advance. The place is always packed. And the other one is Tivoli Village. What's it? Man, my brain is just. But there's this Italian place at Tivoli Village, which has been fantastic. It's very affordable. It's like $15 for a plate of pasta. Of meatballs. We loved it. But there you go. Couple things. I don't know.
Well, thanks.
We're taking notes here.
All right. Good.
When we can get back down, we're trying though.
Yes. Yeah. Good.
So right now, what are the biggest challenges you're facing right now with the pandemic kind of dwindling down, everything opening back up a little bit?
Yeah.
What are the challenges that you have?
So as a business here at Casino Quest, our challenge is finding dealers. So even the schools, it's amazing. We luckily during the pandemic, we picked up a contract with Circa to train all their dancing dealers. So we literally had 80-something dancing dealers at our school, and in different shifts, training them for circus. So we didn't have a lot of jobs. Our job placement rate dropped. We had jobs. It dropped to 90%. You would think it would have dropped lower, but luckily we had some casinos sort of really tied in. But now I have at least 300 casino dealer jobs. Last week alone, we probably had 6 casinos reach out to us, and we're not able to graduate enough dealers. I mean, there's just not enough people, coming into becoming. We used to graduate about 100 a month. We're down to about 70, maybe 60, 70 a month. A lot of people have opted out. I mean, we're not seeing people returning to the workforce like we did. Even now, Casino Quest, we're short people. Resorts World Open, they really, that was a big sponge. They really pulled in a lot of dealers, a lot of talent. Aria has a post. They had a post 1 year dealer. It used to be to get to Aria, that's 100,000, a year job, right? All the games. Now they'd be like, you know what? You don't have to know quite all the games, just a year. You still need a referral. You still have to be good. You got to own the audition, clearly. But Caesar's Palace is short. We've heard they're short about 100 dealers, which it's everywhere. I mean, I've gotten calls from casinos that never talked to us that were like a little, maybe even a butt hurt something. They're reaching out and they're like, yeah, by the way, we're good with you now. We just need dealers, But anyways.
Wow.
That
The biggest problem is employees, quite literally.
All right. Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, like that's the thing. When you have like a pandemic, it's not even just the casino industry, but there's a lot of industries where a lot of people are like, why do I want to go back to work, right? If I'm this close to retirement, why wouldn't I just retire now? Like, is it even worth it for me to come back when you're at that state? So, yeah, I get that for sure.
I think there were a lot of legacy dealers. So if you scroll back to like when a lot of casinos opened in the 70s, 80s, a lot of those employees have really held out. Other than being a crap dealer, if you're a baccarat dealer, there's a lot of older baccarat dealers. You get to sit down. It's not the hardest work. You can kind of stay until you fall over, right? And so a lot of people, were legacy dealers. They're much older dealers, and a lot of those people have moved on, have either removed themselves from the workforce. But anyways, yeah. So that's the challenge. We're actually talking to casinos to sort of lower. To expand the labor pool, find a way to get people into the business without having to pay, like a free school, that type of scenario, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, guys, we're here with David Noll, the managing director of CEG Dealer School and the CEO of Casino Quest. So, if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the messages and make sure you comment. Couple comments here. Team Hardway says, Daddy David, Keno Master Genius Arm Wrestling Champion. Okay, that's quite a few things.
Wow.
That's a lot of hats you wear there, David.
That is, I like the Keno one's my favorite. I don't. Do you guys still? So I dealt dice for many years, and it's a very consuming game, right? You have to stay very focused. I was sort of a higher limit dice dealer. They would put me on games, so it was frontline customer service. So when I got off work, I played Keno. To kind of hit the button, chill out, have a beer, relax. You follow? So that's where my love of Keno is sort of expounded. But the arm wrestling, I'm not so sure about, but I'll take it. That's a win.
Over the top.
Yep.
Just a quick one we have Daryl here. He says, I'm back. So hello, Daryl. Welcome back. It's glad.
Hey.
Life alert. It's good that you're messaging. We know you're alive. Great.
Uh-huh.
And Mr. Ken No says, Daddy David.
We love Ken.
That's awesome. So David, you are the dice master, which is really cool. You've dealt dice from the bird games to high limit games, and now you're training them. And I think you just answered one of my questions on how you reset as a trainer, because it's not easy to kind of. It's much like you're doing a show basically, where you kind of do the same moves over and over and over again. It's the same rules. And sometimes it's the same frustration. Are there any other ways that you have, any other advice that you want to give to some of the trainers out there that are teaching these difficult games on how to kind of reset and keep an even keel? Because it's not an easy thing to do.
No, I do. I have a lot of the same monologues in general, but I do try to pay attention when I find someone who is interacting. Either people react to dice in different ways. I find that people like add numbers in different ways. The way they think about, some people think in colors, units, the math. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at the game. As dealers, once you get to a point of evolution in your career. You stop, the numbers sort of fade away, and you see the bet, you make the bet, you make the payout. It's more about colors and units, that kind of thing. So because I've been dealing a while, I try to stay perceptive to when I see someone, their expression changes. It looks like their brain is oozing out, and then I try to engage a little differently. I do mix some stories. I try to keep it entertaining. I want people to know that it's not just the mechanics of dealing. Dealing can be a lot of fun with the right people and with the right attitude. So I do try to add. Obviously, all of us have stories. We have our players and our experiences at the casino. So that's how I keep it fresh for myself. I just stay fluid. I try not to get stuck in a rut when it comes to that. So the other day I had basically two classes at the school, and then I came here, and then I had a few classes here, and someone asked me that exact question, like, how do I even, how does it? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I went to the scrap the other day, and then me and Dennis also went to Gold Coast, and I ran into an entire table of dealers. They're all that I've trained, that have been there, a year, and they're excellent dealers, dealing scale, and of course, they wave, and it's just fantastic to see that kind of, that sort of transformation. For me, being a dealer was a huge, at that time, I didn't even know I wanted to be a dealer. I just sort of fell into being a dealer, and I had no direction, no real. It was a big pivot. So I guess I share that a little bit with the dealers that I see. Especially I've had dealers get as far as Aria. They've started out. I've trained them. Now they're at Bellagio. They're at Aria. They're at Cosmo, and they're making. They go from needing like lunch money to like doling out lunch money. Having a nice car, nice life, nice family. It's fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Mike.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Just one comment. We have Joel. Oops. Hold on. What's going on here? Joel Gibbons. Joel says, rumor is Seminoles here in Florida getting live dice and roulette in September. Have they reached out for dealer training, game layouts at all?
So we have had different casinos contact us about our training. We're trying to get it encapsulated. So Blackjack, Roulette, and Bach, we have on an online academy. I don't want to plug it. I don't want to take away from your podcast, but we do have.
This is your episode, so you.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, so we built out this interactive academy, CasinoQuest.skilltrain.com. We have Blackjack, Roulette, and Bach. And then we have a team that can come out and sort of polish off dealers, that are affiliated with the school, that kind of thing. Roulette, for sure, you can start online. You can get all your picture bets down, get the mechanics down. But dice takes a little bit more of a hands-on approach. So we have had some casinos. Colorado, for example, has reached out to us. California has reached out to us. Arizona is we're working on Arizona now, but not so much Florida. Seminoles always ask us for dealers coming their way, but we haven't. So we have had some communication with them, but they haven't reached out to us for dice instruction. Which, we would love to be part of that experience. I think at this point we're stretched a little thin, but we're working on a program to, at least online through the academy, through our online academy, provide sort of the groundwork. To get people at least introduced to the game, and then potentially we could have people go out and sort of finish it up, on the ground. So that's the goal.
Yeah, that's awesome. What are your opinions on California? Because they're going to be getting dice soon, as far as I'm hearing.
I think Class 3 is coming all across the board. I think that's going to change. The Indians are going to redo their pack. Arizona was interesting state. Forever they talked about it, and the governor there was trying to get all the Indians to kind of so that they could all pay into the same pool and all benefit from this. But anyway, so now that that's over and some of the other laws have changed, I think there's no more fear about Class 3. I think that there's programs in place that people do have a gambling problem. The states need revenue badly. And the only one who comes into a state says most companies, large companies, come into a state. They say, "Hey, give me some incentive, to provide jobs and tax revenue." Casinos say, "How much can I pay to be part of your experience?" Right? They come there and they want to pay. They're all about paying their taxes. So I think I think now that casinos, especially after the pandemic, a lot of states, they need to fill up their coffers. They need to find a way forward. They're gonna, if they already have class 2, class 3 is an easy win. So Virginia, right? I think Virginia is adding class 3. Oklahoma did last year. So California, Indians, obviously. Arizona is going big in a couple months. We'll add dice and roulette. And of course, Florida and Colorado just upgraded their betting limit, so they eliminated the caps, and they're adding crap as well. Or yeah,
Wow.
That's awesome. All right, okay, sorry.
no worries. Yeah, you tell me.
No, I'm hearing a little feedback. I don't know where it's coming from. Mike, are you getting a lot of volume there?
Can it come from this?
Me? No, I turned down my volume.
Okay, no, I'm hearing a little bit of the kickback, but that's fine.
Should I shut up? I think.
Okay. All right, so guys, if you have any questions, make sure you send it out on the message board, and we can ask David while he is on here for our special episode of the month. And actually, Alex's episode, we just posted it this morning, so you can find it on social media. You can find it on Spotify and on iTunes,
Fantastic.
and download it, and you can compare and see whether David's or Alex's is better. So no, just kidding.
Mine's much better.
Yeah, well, there you go.
No, actually, he's a big ham. Everybody loves Alex.
There's a lot of memes, and a lot of
Alex memes. Yeah, for sure.
David, it's cool to have someone that has a lot of knowledge in craps and dealing craps, and I know that we can talk about craps all day, but I have a few questions.
Okay.
How do you feel the state of craps is now in the point of view as a dealer? Because as I watched a lot of your episodes before, there used to be a time where it was a dummy up and deal. We had strict rules about your inside hand, your outside hand. This is a proper way of dealing. There's arguments about it. Now it seems a little more freewheeling. What is your opinion on how dice is now?
From a dealing standpoint, it's there's a lot of slinging checks. There's no doubt about it. When I was young, breaking in, I used to love going to the Horseshoe and Horseshoe Casino across the street from the gate and watch people slinging checks. It was very cool to see. At the Horseshoe, all you had to do is be able to stand. You could drink or do whatever drugs you could, you wanted to, and that was the bar. The bar was as long as you were standing, and even at the point where you weren't standing, you would just get tapped out and go home. Because of course Teddy Binney ran that place at the time, and he had his own issues. But here's what I'll say. I'll say for the purpose of breaking in, as much as people love to sling checks and love to toss change and have bad habits, not going inside, outside, that kind of thing. I think that ultimately you set yourself up for failure unless you want to work at the same casino the rest of your life. And, once you break into that casino, sling away. But if you want to move on, especially here in Vegas, the audition is where you have to. Obviously, we know once you get past the audition that, everything gets more lax. But they're looking for, a different set of standards for that audition, right? You can't sling checks for someone that's auditioning, although he's not doing his job. They set a little bit higher bar. Like you can go into Aria, for example, and you'll see dealers. We have a dealer here who works here from Aria, and you'll see those dealers not completely sling. Believe it or not, some of the top tier casinos still enforce some basic mechanics, right? Inside, outside, stuff like this, and how groups of checks are set out, that type of thing. But the audition, the bar is high. To get to those, they expect you to have all of those. Not be going hand to hand, not be doing all this other stuff. And so if you build up, if you have those habits now, it's hard to move on. That's the problem. I mean, if you plan on staying at the same casino, then I guess you could be more lax. But I tell everybody just to focus. There's ways to look slick and ways to look like you have some experience and not sling checks and still use the same hands, because you make it a habit. You just make it a habit to do it at least the right way. And if you've ever watched me deal, I still toss the rack and things like this without it taking away from the mechanics of the game or my game protection too much. Anyways, I go hand to hand a little bit. It's hard to break that habit for me when it comes to checks. I don't. Yeah, but anyways, I'm not sure how it is out there. I know that there are casinos out here that really just need you to have a pulse to deal. And that's sort of the takeaway is like they're so desperate for any kind of dice dealer. Dice dealer big. I mean, I have a casino quite literally, like a poor casino manager keeps coming into the school and wanting dealers. But the minute someone comes into the school now, I got them a job path. I have them a career path. You start literally day one. I get to know you for a minute, and I can pretty much I know where in town you live, that kind of thing. You're already spoken for. You follow? But this guy comes in. He's a table games director, and unfortunately, the casinos that pay less or the tokes are less have sort of fallen off now. No one wants to. They don't have. Nobody has to work there. You can start at a higher tier property, and so. But he'll hire you quite literally if you have a pulse. And I tell our students to wait. To get through training as much as you can, and sort of because you have to build that base. I even dealers that move on to supervisors don't move on to a supervisor too quickly, because the minute you move on and now you're a supervisor, your time as a dealer has stopped. If here on the strip, if you haven't checked off those 2 years, for example, there's a lot of big casinos, they won't hire you because you haven't seen everything you need to see. You need to have some time behind you and have all of those scenarios work out and all those different things you've had to deal with as a dealer. And so, anyways, but it's evolved. When I first started the dummy up and deal thing, that was big, right? I mean, they could fire you on the spot. Now you got to go through like peer groups, and there's a whole process. People aren't punching me or hitting me or kicking my. Those days are gone. So you have some rights and some basic recognition. Obviously, working in casinos used to be a little rough. But I think if you want to create opportunity for yourself, it's about you sort of raising, making your own standard, having your own standard. You know what I mean? Even if other people don't necessarily have those same standards.
Right, I completely agree. You nailed it.
Good, thank you. I love being here, man. I love you guys. I swear to God, I'm a fan.
Oh no, this is a pleasure.
I've watched there's 4 of you, no? There's normally 4 of you guys.
Oh, there's more of us now. We're multiplying.
Yeah, good, fantastic.
No, it's awesome to have you on. And you know what? After I do the editing, you actually sound just like us. Like we get the ums and our uhs taken out of.
Oh, really? I do a lot of those.
Yeah, we do the most. So yeah, that's why.
Really?
Like this hour episode is gonna be like 15 minutes after we're done. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. All the ums taken out. Timmy has to work his ass off over here. See, anyways, I it up just for him.
So, where do you see the future of Casino Quest going?
Yes.
How are you expanding?
We are already looking at plans to expand into some other markets. We are going to focus on markets specific to our fan base. We have 2 new markets in plan here in the near future, and then from there, I think we're going to focus on a kind of a fun night experience. It won't be the same size and scope that we have here. We were, when we first started, a lot of people did not think this was a thing. And as much as I had my doubts, YouTube sort of changed my mind about a lot of things, the social media parts of it. And it's so we think there's a big market. So the bigger market, everybody asks me, how do you make? So we only charge $20 an hour. That's going to be changing to $25 an hour, and you get 1, 2, maybe 3 dealers. So we don't make money on the front end. That's literally just to pay the dealers, right? And just to create that experience. The other part of it is we have some retail and branding and merchandising. But the big opportunity for us is having the relationships with the casinos and creating new markets for the casinos, new player markets. So players, one of the questions you asked is, where's Craps going? Well, the Craps player base is growing. Channels like this that are introducing gaming, responsible gaming to more people, we see more people taking advantage of the casino floor. Average people. A lot of the high rollers and a lot of the big money play has sort of been absent in Vegas, by the way, which is, it's depending on where you're at on the echelon, it's either a good or bad thing. But if you look at regular pits, Palace Station Pit I can't tell you the exact numbers. What I mean, it's amazing. The activity on these floors is quite literally off the charts. Part of that, obviously, a big part of that is people getting out of the pandemic. But I would say about 10 years ago, when ETGs, the electronic table games, were being introduced on any kind of real scale. There was all this nervousness, all these pit managers and casino managers. They were all worried that these ETGs would take over. Well, that hasn't happened. In fact, almost exactly the opposite. Yes, people play them, but it's the same. It's a slot play. It's a slot base that's expanded to include bubble craps, the Aruzi machine they have at the Strat, which is popular. These kinds of things. They haven't taken away. I was actually involved in a study. I worked as a consultant, a gaming consultant, and I saw a company make a large investment in a stadium seating that had blackjack roulette, and box. The box stayed, by the way. Box Stadium is in to stay. That one's a good one. You can play two hands. There's no doubt. But they made this huge investment. They rolled it out at a fringe casino. It sort of worked. The average buy-in was really low, but they're like, you know what? Let's just go scale this up. We've got some good feedback from the Midwest. Let's do this. They made this huge investment, and within 6 months, they had to clear them all out. I mean, they just didn't get any. They took up a lot of floor space. They would rather have regular slots, buffalo machines, literally buffalo machines. That was the thing that took over. But I honestly think that YouTube and people like us are introducing gaming to people that may not otherwise have stopped to play. Who are very focused on slot machines. It's a lot of fun. Playing craft table especially. If you can get over the learning the game and just even some basic bets, some basic strategy, you can have a lot of fun with $100. You can play around for quite a while. So I think as much as like the Aruzi, you guys, I know there's one at the Strat now. It's very popular and it's a fantastic machine, but it's a machine. At the end of the day, you don't get the dealer. It's like going to a bar, and we've had a few of them. The electronic bartender thing, that it's great for Disneyland, but a few of them have come and gone already because people want engagement, especially now after the pandemic. We were forced home, right? We didn't have a lot of social interaction. And they were like, holy crap. Even those of us that were like, I like being by myself a little bit. I don't mind working from home. But we miss that engagement. We realized that at the end of the day, we're humans and we want other humans to interact with and engage. And now that we've shown that this is a thing, this is an opportunity. It's been very exciting, I have to say. But anyway. Did I answer anything, or do I go off on some weird tangent?
No, that's awesome. We love it. Like honestly, it's so insightful and noteworthy. I'm glad we're here to listen to this.
Yeah, I agree too. I look my comments. This was our next question, and you did bring it up. But just the whole thing about what will electronic craps do for the future of traditional games. Yeah. This version, the reason why this version worries me is because of the timing of it, the pandemic. I always had to defend DICE, not like as a dealer, but as someone that wanted to keep the game on the floor, because the argument from the management side of it would be, why wouldn't I just have 3 blackjack tables and run it instead of a full rotation of 4 dealers on DICE? I mean, like the revenue that I can generate on 3 blackjack tables is probably going to be better. We're getting more activity. We're getting more action. We're not generating enough new players from craps because of the difficulty of it. But now, like, you bring in this version of the game and you have 1 person staffed on it. People are still throwing the dice. They don't have to worry about dirty chips. I mean, that's another debate for another time. But that was my worry about the game. Do you feel like there's enough room for that type of gaming and the traditional game? Or do you think it's going to affect the actual, like, the art of the game? Like, Mike and I are fans of the art of the game, like dealing, presses. Yeah, we love moves. We love the banter on dice. We love the stick calls, everything like that makes craps. In this sense, you're getting like a hybrid version, and it's like the first time. It's not like electronic, not like the bubble type of machine. It's really weird to see it. So, I don't know how you feel about it. Do you think that in the long run, something like this will take over the traditional game? Is this part of the evolution, or is it just something that's going to go hand in hand, or is it something that's just going to disappear?
Well, I think the biggest problem is actually going to be to train enough crap dealers. If casinos still run into the issue where they can't graduate crap dealers, they really don't have a whole lot of choices. This, you got to just move. You need a stick person to move the dice around. You need one person, right? And they just punch in the plays. It doesn't feel like playing dice. I played it at G2E like 3 years ago when it was introduced. And I had trouble getting my own bets in, believe it or not. And, I know a thing or two about dice bets. So it doesn't, plus, you still have to learn, just by default, you have the screen, you don't know how to play. So and then who's there to teach you, like who's there to interact with you. But I have seen it, the Stratus rolled it out. It's been really popular. People have been on it. The dealers there are still learning it. It's taking a little extra time, and you can set it. By the way, when I was there, they had it set to like auto go. There was a model there. It was shooting, you know what I mean? So it was a little quick. At this other experience at the Strat, it was a little bit longer. They give you plenty of time to roll the dice, but I do think I think craps is actually expanding. The base of people that actually will play craps is expanding, and I think it's going to be a hybrid type of system. Sadly, I think casinos will be forced into situations where they just don't have the dealers, and if the cost of this table goes down, so the cost of this table is literally through the roof. They'll pay some salaries. Dealers are cheap. This table is not. So right now, that's really the hurdle. Is like, other than putting out a promotional lease, if you really want to buy one of these tables, they're really expensive. Even the floor leases are expensive. If you're paying dealers $9 an hour, $10 an hour, that's it, right? Because the rest is all in tote. So it's pretty. It's right now. It's still cheaper to have dealers on the table. The problem is if you have dealers, if you can't find the dealers, you can't train the dealers fast enough. I mean, what do? If you want to have craps, this is your crap game. I do miss the art. Can I just say, like, Dennis here wants me to teach him how to do a bird game. There are very few of us that can deal bird games now, right? There's no 25-cent tables. I don't know if you guys ever saw dime shooters, dime games. Not yet. No.
No. Our other co-host though, yes, he was dealing
fantastic.
In Europe to the pence. So yeah, he's tell us these ridiculous payouts where it's we've never heard of like
such a great game. It was such a skill. You had to shoot, like, they would call them dime shooters. They would have the rolls and dimes in their hand. They would go out and do piles because you can't stack those, right? And they would literally drop the coins from it. What you remember those coins? Did you guys ever play in the video arcade and you'd buy them for a couple bucks? They go, they would like have a couple, $1, So they would do these dime things. They put them in their hands and they would shoot them out for like place bet payoffs. You'd have like dollar place bets, right? You'd pay right to the 140 or whatever it was, and it was so cool to watch. That's all gone.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me just jump. Do you want to go, Mike? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, our other co-host told us tons of stories from in the UK of that, and I can't imagine. It would be so cool to watch, and I don't know, I might fall apart on the table dealing, but I'd love to watch it.
Used to be a ton of fun. It was really cool to see those guys work those. I never got to deal it myself, but it was so cool to see them go out. They would drop the whole roll when they had to pay the line right up into their hands, and they would shoot them. They would shoot them like this. I don't know, you can't see. They would shoot them like this in front of them. It was fantastic. They would create these really neat little piles of dimes,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I see, and that's something that we've been talking about for like the whole season. I mean, like the first season, we called this podcast "Talking Craps" because we wanted to talk about craps. But now, like, we talk about everything else. We never really get to talk about craps as much as we did before. But
really,
it's because the game's changed. Like, even now, like me going back to Vegas, it's not the same as when it was like the first time we went, like when we were both like 21.
Yeah,
the game itself has changed. There's actually a comment here from Team Hardways with the question. It ties into this. Will higher minimums $15 and up deter new craps players? What are some ways to grow the game?
100%. So I don't know. You guys have seen me with Scott. I don't know if you've ever. We work with UNLV. We teach their. They have a gaming lab, and me and Alex will contribute some time and teach them about the games, that kind of thing. But Professor Scott, I mean, we're both big on this. Like, you have to lower the point of entry. $15 games is silly. Not everybody can afford it. I don't play $15 games. If we set up for a game, I want it to be a $5 table. I mean, none of my strategies start at $15. I don't want to be at 96 across just to start out.
Yeah.
So I think lowering that entry is important. If you want, and people come up and they see you have to pay a $15 minimum, right? $100. It's like, oof. It's rough. You don't create a lot of new players that way. So I agree 100%.
Yeah, I think that I get priced out of a lot of games right now. If I wanted to go there on the weekend, it's where can I even find like just a $10 game? It's, like the minimums just get bumped up so high, and then now I do resort to going to electronic craps because it's too much of like a risk, right?
Interestingly, we've done some studies. So Scott has been a table games director at quite a few. He's also opened like MGM Macau, Aria, this kind of thing. He knows a thing or two about these pits. And I'll be honest, when you sit dead, a dead game is not collecting revenue for your casino. So he's been in a position, for example, where they went from a $10 table at one of the casinos that he managed. And he added a $3 game. Now, not a $3 game 24/7, but a $3 game on off-peak hours. And he was able to increase the drop substantially. People will come in and bet $3 games. Plus, the prop action goes through the roof. You lower all the access points to the game, and you now. By the way, your Theo goes up because you have these dollar players playing props like they're going out of style. You're on a lower limit game. You're forking over like 5 stacks of dollars of props because people you lower that bar, right? So the results are always that you can optimize the experience by not just staying at $15 all the time. Because people ask me, listen, why is it $25 if you got 2 dead crap tables? What's the point in that? The only point in that is if you're waiting for someone that might be coming downstairs to play, high limit player, that kind of thing. Other than that. I don't understand what the hesitation is to drop these limits and get people playing on the game, right? Limits here have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
They have. No, I agree. And you're right. And Scott, when he lowers limits on off-time betting, I mean that's great. I think every casino should do that, right?
100%. I don't agree. These table game directors are misguided. I don't. No takeaway. Congratulations on having your job, sir or ma'am. But on Graveyard, you can drop the limits a little bit if you got nobody playing your tables. And if you're wondering why you have no action, because people do come out for that action. Like people will. They ask us all the time, "Where's the $5 games? Where's the $10 games?" They want to know. That's where they want to go. So they'll hear about it, even if you're not able to put out the ad. Trust me, they'll find it. There are people walking through your casino right now looking for what the tables are at. We have people reporting in all the time here at Casino Quest and letting us know. So just drop the flip at table limits. Let's get on. When you used to deal in Vegas, the action here has changed, right? Like you don't see what I worked at the Rio when Marnell owned it, when we have 12 active dice games. And you could deal. I had $100 and $500 games on some weekends that were busy. I've had 8 people on a side of $100 minimum table many times back in the day. You don't. Those are the kinds of games that have have sort of gone south. But
yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember our first trip when Mike and I went. We were 21 and we stayed at Imperial Palace, and it was a $3 table.
IP?
Yeah.
How long ago was that? I might have been there.
$3.
I broke the IP twice.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Ingolstadt, dude, that guy rough. I can tell you stories about him. He was he would be fond of sitting there at the Hawaii. It was a tropical bar, Hawaiian bar. I don't know what it's called. The Safari Bar. What's it called? The Safari Bar, I think. It was right off of where the dice pit was, and he would just get loaded up. Be able to get loaded up. I was hired after they had a scandal where they had people setting up bets. They had dice dealers making $1,000 day in tokes with no action, and they were like, "There's something wrong." And and I got hired onto a crew after this, sort of they got passed up. But yeah, I worked on that. Was a low bar to work in that place. A lot of $3 tables there back in the day. Yeah.
That was our price range when we were 21.
Well, yeah.
Really? Yeah, the IP was cheap, dude. Cheap everything. He kept it cheap.
Yeah, we didn't have late night poker back then, so like poker didn't boom quite yet. So like our toke rate wasn't very good up north. So that's all.
Either was it the IP, the toke rate was rough. That was a rough job too. I didn't make much money there. But.
Okay, so just back to a couple. Look, it's like 50 minutes already, David. Holy smokes! All right, let's try to rifle through a couple more questions here. Mr. Keno says, sometimes I'll come across a person who's a great worker, and I know they're struggling financially. I have an urge to tell them to be a dealer and to go to CEG. What are the steps for this?
Easy. We have CEGdealers.com or CEGdealerschool.com, and you come to town. If you want, you can email us, info@CEGdealers.com. If you have any questions about Vegas, the school, the process of getting hired, our job placement rate is 99.99. Basically, if you're not wanted, you can pretty much get a job, and you have blood going through your veins, sort of thing. But so it's really, the bar is really low now because casinos are very desperate for dealers. It's on average, it's about $500. We tell you to learn 3 games. We can normally get you hired with 1 or 2 games, and then you can finish the 3rd game or more. I always recommend you learn dice. Dice is big. You can upgrade the tiers. So there's a few tiers. We call them tiers, the sort of levels. We have break-in places, mid-tier, your 6-month job, your 2-year job, your 5-year job, that kind of thing. And if you have dice, you can usually skip 1 or 2 levels. So we work with quite a few casinos. We work with over 100 casinos throughout the country. So even if you're looking, we actually work with some casinos in overseas. We have a licensed school in Japan, Osaka, who Rocky. I don't know if those of you who followed our channel, Rocky's out there running that school. But anywhere you want to go, you want to work cruise ships, you want to go to Florida. Colorado is hiring dealers, desperate for dealers. But dice, learn 3 games. You abbreviate your career. If you just did it for 1 or 2 games, you might get to a starting tier casino, small casino that just has blackjack, roulette. But it's very hard to move on, very hard to evolve and get into those better spaces. California, even, you have to have blackjack and carnival games. So you need more than 1 or 2 games ideally. But if you want to make a career out of it and give yourself the best opportunity in this career, you got to have a bunch of games under your belt. I was a dice dealer most of my life. I learned 3 games, but most of my life I was just a dice dealer. And I got to a point where I was pretty well known for being a very good dice dealer. And so, table game directors would move on, go to another casino and say, hey, David, come on over. So I was able to deal dice most of my life without too many interruptions. But that's no longer a thing, really, especially starting out in this business, right? You have to be well-rounded.
Yeah, awesome. For sure.
Texas Fan 52 says, "Can I get a Hoya?"
Texas Fan, hey, can you mute any of these? You have to take all these questions. What's going on, Texas fans over here? Okay, that's a who yeah, Texas fans. Who yeah.
Wrong episode.
Yeah, wrong episode.
Sorry, back to Team Hardways.
Yes.
I heard from a dealer some players will do hop bets to get around the table minimum and only bet the line when they're shooting. Hey, Mike, that sounds like something that you and I would do. Dollar hard 4 and 10, hop the easy 4 and 10.
Yeah.
Is this something that you see while you're playing on there on the strip?
Yeah, so a lot of casinos now require you to bet the table minimum. They'll have some type of minimum prop action. They don't want you just tossing dollars on a $15 or $25 game. I worked recently at a station casino, and $5 table, you had to have either $5 in on props total, or you had to have $5 on base somewhere. You know what I mean? A $5 check and play. It depends on the casino. But yeah, so of course, you want to get over a $5, you want to get over a $15 game, right? You do 15 on the pass line and 17 on the don't pass. You got 2 on the table. There you go.
Nice.
Right? I've seen that a lot.
Oh yeah, no, so so have we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah. All right, next question. Dennis. Hello, Dennis. Dennis asks.
Oh my god! See, this is what I'm working with. I got to put out an ad. I got to hire good, respectable people. Okay, this is the takeaway. Dennis, we you know, it's strange. I know. I wish you guys can come out here and meet us, me and Alex. We are every bit. This is who I am. You know, Alex is every bit like he is. This is our thing. We have had a people reach out to us and talk to us about this. Our relationships have evolved. Let's just say this. Can you imagine? You guys have been in this business for a while. I just 4 years ago, I sort of semi-retired. I got on the side of a dice game. That's all I wanted to do is deal dice. I had been doing some database stuff and, you know, going after the brass ring, so to speak. And I found myself missing just being a dealer, you know, just being a dice dealer on base. I didn't want to be a supervisor. I didn't want to be a consultant. All I wanted to do is deal dice. That's it. Because that for me was my zen, my put on an apron, have some good customers, and action, you know, not sit there dead, you know, actually work a game, work some basic bets. I didn't care. Scale, no scale, didn't matter. And to be here today as a dice dealer, because you guys dealt dice, right? You guys dealt dice.
Oh yeah.
As a dice dealer, it's just to see all the people come in here. It's like Craps Quest. It says Casino Quest, but it's like Craps Quest plus roulette and some other stuff. But it's everybody comes in here to learn dice. Not everybody, but you know, it's just fantastic. It really, it's. I would say I was dreaming and pinch myself a lot. We love it. I mean, you know, you guys love it. I mean, that's why you're here doing this. You know, we love the game. The casino has done a lot for me, provided a lot for me, and Craps is a tremendous game. Think about it. We're having a whole flipping discussion, and I'm looking at a whole table full of people playing pretend craps.
Right.
It really is fantastic.
It is, and I mean, this is just we're in an hour to it now, but there's so much more we could discuss. It's just.
Yep.
It's the game. It is the game. It's the life.
It's amazing. The stories, everything. It's just it's been an interesting career, I have to say. And we're happy to have everyone. By the way, all the content creators, all the podcast people, everyone who wants to come down. If you just love the game and you don't have a bone to pick, you know, or you're not commiserating, you know, there's a lot of dealers that get it to that point where they want to commiserate, and I was at the Rio making $80,000 a year in the '90s, right? And I had to avoid the break room. They're always bitching, this player, that player. Who cares? You're on base for an hour, you get 20 minutes breaks. Go take it outside, right? But we're happy to have everybody come down to Casino Quest. We want to be part of the whole thing. The whole, you know, we shop at Craps. Why we love it all. You know what I mean? We want to expand the space. We want people to hear and see and be part of this experience. Edmonton and here, Quebec. We have a few dealers up at Quebec. I don't know what casino is that at. What's he at? I don't know. Some of the casinos. French-Canadian guy comes down here. Learn night.
There's a few nice ones there, actually. Yeah.
There's a few, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're for sure. No, David, like what I said, like what you and Alex are doing there, it's super important to the industry, not just in Vegas, but it's also like internationally, because what I love about like, you know, the content. Yeah. The other thing is, before I continue on, freaking content creators, I know you have to deal with like haters and other people sometimes, and a lot of people are going to be like, well, no, what he's saying isn't like the right way of doing things. In my casino, this is how we do things. I mean, like we get that just like working on the shift, you know, like it's always like that. But honestly, you're not really doing stuff for them anyways. I mean, like, but what matters, like the things that you're doing, it influences the casino industry like internationally, because you're teaching people, you're giving them a safe environment. You're not subjecting them to people that don't want to teach them how to play. And they go back to like, they'll come back here to Edmonton and it's like, yeah, I know how to play. And it's like, yeah, that's awesome. You know? So providing that environment, and, you know, like the dealer training is super important. Everything that you're doing, it really places a big influence on the future of casino table games. So that's why I love, like, Mike and I love having you on to our channel and just like sharing stories. We haven't even shared stories yet. We have a couple stories, but yeah.
I mean, I'm here on your time. I'm good. I know that some people are like, what's going on here? Because I could talk, as long as Texas fans can talk or Mr. Ken Nutt can talk. You know what? You know what's great about what I will say this: the one thing that was really changed. I don't say really changed. We can pick or choose our casinos now. When we were a casino, you guys you've been to Vegas. Not all casinos are the same. Some don't treat everybody the same. There's definitely some casinos here that need some upgrades to how they deal with people, have been slower than others, right? And when we were starting out in this business, me and Alex being an Asian was literally blocked from job placement opportunities. There were casinos that would not talk to him on the floor. And I know there's some people out there telling me not to say this, but you know what? That's the whole reason I'm here. The whole reason I got involved in this. Well, when I was a dealer coming up in this business, I didn't have a lot. I knew no one. I had no juice. I had no one to juice me, and I had to just be good. And it prevented me from moving on in many cases. You follow? And I had an interesting life. I won't go into my own personal life, but let me just say, it was awkward. Vegas was awkward for me in different stages. When I came to work with Alex, I didn't realize all the roadblocks he had experienced as a business owner. For me, that was sort of antithetical to kind of how I grew up. You follow? Even though I had seen it, I literally stood on the steps of the IP, and a guy waves his hand. This is a ship boss waves his hand to the pit in front of him and said, "That's why I love all the Asians. They never complain and they don't ask for a raise." He's like, if he had all white guys dealing dice, and he's like, if I can get all you guys off my dice game, I'd have a perfect pit. Okay, this is I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff that went on all the time. And the next thing was the Ethiopians, came to Vegas, and same thing, lots of issues with this. Now that we have 4 million views, we can pick and choose the casinos we work with. We don't have to work with you. We can move on. We don't have to. There is no block anymore. It's hard to say no. You got to have. We're sort of leveling the playing field. I had an experience literally 2 weeks ago, and we had to upgrade our conversation with some dealers. We had a dealer that wasn't hired because we feel like it was a casino boss that was not dealing fairly with this person, and they're a person of color. All right, and we're able to have new conversations now because of Casino Quest, and I mean this with absolute sincerity. I don't care who hates the conversation, but I think this day and age now, those are the conversations that are important. We're having really, really great, better dialogue, about who people are and how everyone deserves to have a job and have the opportunity to work, and that's really been just the greatest thing for me. There was a HR person that said it best, HR director. We are de-rigging the system. You don't have to have juice. I can get you all the juice you need because you're going to be good. That's it. And we'll get you the casino you want. You be good, and you don't need to have juice. You just come back to CEG, and we'll help you get your first job, your second job, your third job, and every time I'll be honest. We'll be honest with you and let you know what the deal is. But no more of these stupid ass doors blocking, preventing good people from having good jobs.
That's great. That's amazing. I love what you guys do. Honestly, I mean, we're so happy that you guys are doing this, and that you could take some time and talk to us about it. Like, I mean, it's just
we love you guys, 100%. Yep.
Yeah. No, I can hear what Mike just said, but I totally respect what you just said there. I can definitely go into another few hours of a segment of everything that I experienced. We didn't experience it so much in Canada, but then when I went on the ships and we were doing our runs and we would go on port, there was a difference, definitely, and there's a lot of things that I've kind of gone through as well. Yeah,
dude, I have stories and to this day, some of these people are just so full of themselves. They feel like they can get away with absolute nonsense, and up until now, no one's been able to really discuss these types of things. Those are the hard discussions that have come through because everyone's afraid of getting juiced out or being, there's another there's someone else in town that makes you think that if you don't treat them a certain way, if you're not, they'll I got it. Here I am myself, not being careful to choose my words correctly. That's not a thing anymore. Don't think that you can go in if someone treats you unfairly. You can say something. They're not gonna. That's nothing. That's some little person interfering with your right to be who you want to be. You know what I mean? Like that's all crap. They make you think somehow they have all this power. They got nothing. They got no power. Table game director, casino manager, casino owner, doesn't matter. They got no power. You just move on, have a different conversation, and move on. That's my takeaway. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Good.
David, can we have you on again in the future?
Yep, anytime.
Okay.
You just
Well,
give me a call.
that's perfect. We've kind of gone over the hour. Mike, do you have any final questions?
Yes.
No. I want to thank you for your time. It's awesome. It's awesome having you on. It's awesome having Alex on. I just love the conversation, the banter, and just the point of views that we get to see. And we're hoping if anything starts opening up, if the borders open up soon, that Jay and I are on a flight at some point, and we're coming down.
Fantastic. Yeah, all your Canadians. We need you Canadians to buy up all the timeshares, dude. All the timeshares.
Right.
Oh, you're Canadian? Right this way. Timeshare tour.
We're not those Canadians. No,
Yeah.
no, we're on the west side here.
Yeah.
Do you have just a couple more minutes?
Dude, I got all the time in the
Okay.
world. We're good.
Well, yeah, let's just hammer a couple of these out.
Got it.
Kevin, I like to get through these comments, but Kevin
love
says,
this question.
"Hey David, couple questions. How are the sales of slot machines going? Number 2, any update on Crapsy? The Crapsy app? Yeah, how is that going?
So the slot machines we kicked to the curb. We're working with another vendor. It turns out the individual we were working with, not the best scenario, to say the least. Huh?
Not the best quality either.
Not the best quality, had some quality issues. So again, that's why we're here. We're here, value. Yeah, we're not, no more playing games, dude. Truth is truth, right? Any update on the Crapsy app? We definitely have. It's been in beta testing for a while. There was some issue with some of the security protocols, so it took a little longer. There were some parts of the back end that had to be rebuilt over my pay grade. But we are close. I think he has said that we're about a week or two away. I think the next release date is going to be early July. You guys will be on that. You guys, it's going to be so cool. The Crapsy app, you'll be able to play. The base app will be free. If you want to play with like groups and have tournaments and have like a whole table and set all your own odds, everything else, that you'll pay for. It'll be like a monthly cost. And we'll have regular tournaments, like weekly, monthly, however we can do it. And we have casino partners ready to go to host the winners. You come to Vegas, we'll have the tournaments here, we'll have my casino quest. We have casinos, we'll be able to put you up and make it part of this whole community thing. So I think I'm really, 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 and it's a Canadian company, just so you know. Out of, where's he out of? I keep referring
Toronto.
to Toronto. He's out of Toronto.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right.
Awesome. Okay, well, no, that's good. Yeah, keep us updated, and then we'll put it on our channel and actually play all our craps gurus here.
Yeah.
Robert says, ask David about Keno, depending on how much time you have left.
Just wait and see. You got to wait to the end of this last. I did live Keno, 25 cents, 20 card, $5 a pull.
It's up.
It's up? No, but only part 1. You got to wait till I was there for a while. But let me just say, the ending is fantastic. Through the roof.
All right.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Keno. Yeah.
Robert asked, did David mention that Alex is out?
I could.
Right now.
Did Alex want me? So we're
That's up
good
to you.
friends with
Yep.
Kelly's son. You guys know Kelly's son?
Me too.
She one of the biggest players, probably on
Excellent player, yeah.
Yeah, great player, advantage player. Took a lot of money from a lot of casinos that are butthurt about her, and she's become a good friend of ours. So Alex is with her right now. We at another show. We're going to be meeting. We're going to be doing a whole lot with her in the near future. By the way, we love her. She's really a fantastic individual. Very down to earth, real friendly. So there's that.
That's great. That's awesome.
Robert also asks, will there be a CQ podcast today? When do you have your podcasts? Can you let
we're
everybody
gonna
know?
have me and Sticky. We get on Sundays And then Wednesdays, we have like a news podcast. We've been so busy redoing the store. There's been some little delays, but we're going to get on about 5. I got to go get something to eat. And then me and Sticky, we're going to talk about everything going on in Vegas.
Yeah, I already answered his question too.
You did?
Yep.
What did you say? What time did you say?
I didn't give him a time, so there will be one later.
Dude, I wouldn't know when to poop without Dennis. You know what I mean? He schedules the
Texas fan says awesome content, guys.
Thank you.
Mr. Ken No says this was great. Thank you, David.
Thank you, guys.
They love you.
Yes, Texas.
Yeah.
We love Texas. Yes.
So, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for being on. Dennis, hey, thanks for showing half of your face there as well. That was really
I don't have any casino stories. Too young.
Too young.
They'll come.
Next year.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, no, David, thanks again. Mike, go ahead. Final comments?
No, I want to say thank you guys. Thanks, David. Dennis, good to see you. We're really glad we could listen to you talk today. I mean, it was just awesome, and I'm grateful for it. So thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys. Enjoy.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, David. Enjoy your Sunday.
Take care,
Thanks
guys.
for being on.
Yes.
Take care.
All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.